with the kind of spiritual message which I have received for your yearly forecast from the Tarot Major Arcana cards. So the card which has come as a part of your theme is the Fool card. So now this is a card which tells about exploration, being on that new journey in the life, taking chances and having faith in the universe. Now guys, the Hindu god which has come as the guardian angel for your next year's theme has come out to be the Lord Hanuman, and the blessings which Lord Hanuman will bestow for you is capacity to preserve, physical strength, fighting ability, superhuman power to accomplish acts of service, ability to increase one's attitude of love in performing selfless service. And lastly guys, the Bhagavad Gita quote which I have received for you guys is the chapter 4 verse 34, which gets translated as just learn the truth, approach a guru with humility, inquire from the submissively and render service. The self-realized can impart transcendental knowledge, for they have seen reality. So now guys, now we will shift our discussion to the looking at the combined influence of the slow moving planets in your chart next year. So starting first with the planet Saturn, now which becomes your ascendant lord as well. So guys, from the past 2.5 years when Saturn was transiting in your first house, now try to understand this thing. Saturn is a planet of karma, Saturn is a planet of justice, and in whichever house it is going to be transiting, somehow our tests and trials take place in the matters of that house. So I do not know how many of you guys have felt yourself being restrained, being in some grip of some karmic force which was not able to let you move as per the best of your capabilities. So all of that is going to be a matter of the past, and the moment Saturn will transit to your second house right at the beginning of this year, you will start getting that accelerated pace in all areas of your life. Now guys, when we specifically talk from the perspective of the second house, now beyond doubt, Saturn, which is a planet of miserliness, Saturn is a planet of lack. So many times in the second house, Saturn can create many vulnerability of facing hardship in managing your financial inflow, but there are certain exceptions. When we talk about Saturn being, for example, exalted in the second house, or Saturn being specifically in the Aquarius sign, because Aquarius is the Mool Trikona sign of the planet Saturn. So over here, Saturn can actually bestow some very good results as well. And guys, to be honest, whatsoever deeds you have done in the past 2.5 years, when Saturn was monitoring your thought process, your actions, your whole life, when it was transiting in your first house, so the result of all of your deeds will get manifested in the form of some very good financial lucrative rewards to a lot many Capricorn Lagna people. And there couldn't be anything better than if you are already engaged in the fields which are connected with the planet Saturn, like you being a research fellow, you being connected with the fields of oil, iron industry, anything to do with the mining or coal business, astrology. So all those people can definitely get benefited. Now guys, looking at the contribution coming in from the planet Jupiter. So now on April 21st, Jupiter will transit to your 4th house, and definitely it will come in the influence of Rahu as well. Now guys, individually try to understand this thing in the original Kal Purush Kundli, where actually Jupiter attains exaltation. So this placement of Jupiter in your 4th house can actually promise some very good auspicious events in your domestic life, in your family life. The feel good factor will definitely be there, and moreover I have seen many people. Now it hardly matters whether you are connected with the fields of real estate, of having your own transport business, anything to do with the luxury goods, but trust me, the mere placement of Jupiter in the 4th house, whether in your natal chart or whether in the transit, is a very good sign of experiencing that domestic bliss and getting success because of the support which you will receive from your family. Now guys, looking at the influence of Rahu and Ketu. So definitely guys, Rahu is going to be transiting in your 4th house till October 30. After that, it will transit to your third house. So guys, honestly speaking, this whole combination of Rahu and Jupiter in your fourth house can actually bestow some very good success to all those people who are already engaged in the areas of the fourth house. Now you cannot even overlook this fact that fourth house is also the house of the masses as well. We see the throne from over here, and this house becomes very important for the politicians or all those people who are connected with the mass media related field. So one thing which I want to say over here is that specifically there is only one area where this influence of Rahu and Jupiter in your fourth house can create trouble if you are already going through some sort of dispute in the family property related matters. If that is not getting applicable in your case, then trust me, this influence of Rahu and Jupiter in your fourth house will definitely give you that necessary thrust, drive and motivation which you need to succeed in the life. And guys, the moment Rahu will transit to your third house in the month of October, there couldn't be any better sign, because Rahu generally does very good in the Upacha Bhava, and in all of our scriptures it has been mentioned that Rahu bestows some excellent results whenever it transits from the third house. Now looking at from the perspective of the Ketu, so definitely guys, see in your case for the Capricorn Lagna people, I am very much sure that from the past couple of months, because Ketu was transiting in your 10th house, and Ketu's transit in the 10th house many times bestow or bring very stark transformation in the matters of the profession, where I have seen many people getting entangled with very stark opinion with their bosses, or people end up reporting to very extreme temperamental bosses or authority figures. So all of that is going to be a matter of past. The moment Ketu will transit to your 9th house, definitely the blessing of your ancestors, of your guru, and right set of divine omens will start supporting you. So this was just an overview of the overall signification or contribution coming in from the planets next year. Now guys, we will start looking at each house specifically, that what kind of results you can anticipate next year as a part of your yearly theme. So guys, looking at the matters of your first house specifically, so obviously guys, Saturn's presence in the first house is always a matter of concern. Now many times it can bring the results of the ill deeds done by us in the past lifetimes. Many times Saturn's transit in the first house, let's say for example, if a person is already going through any of the health related concerns, so recovery becomes very difficult, because Saturn in itself is the significator of chronic illnesses. So I would say that this departure of Saturn from your first house can be seen as a very good news or a very good relief for all the Capricorn Lagna people. And definitely guys, I've already mentioned this thing, although Saturn's transit in the first house can be seen as a very good sign for people connected with politics or connected with the mass media, or people who are in the top management or who owns some very big businesses, but I would say that this shift of Saturn in your second house will definitely take your whole focus in the matters of the second house as well, and whatsoever seeds you have sown, the result of that start getting manifested in some very lucrative financial rewards for a lot many Capricorn Lagna people next year. Now guys, looking at the matters of your second house. So guys, one thing or one mool mantra which I want to give to you guys is that next year you have to make it a habit of doing as much of the charity you can do. Second thing is that you have to remain very much respectful towards the elderly members of your family. And let's say for example, if you have if you are in that level where you have many people who report to you, or you are always surrounded by the servants, so you have to also remain very much respectful towards them as well, because Saturn's transit in the second house monitor all these things. But I would say guys, because I have already mentioned this thing, Saturn majorly next year is going to be transiting in the Sadbhisha Nakshatra, which is ruled by the planet Rahu as well. So if in any case your income is connected with the fields of Rahu, where we talk about technology, we talk about foreign income, import export nature of work, anything to do with the cannabis business, alcohol business, liquor business. So all those people can definitely get benefited. One thing which I want to say over here is that you have to adapt or upgrade your business to the latest tech standards. That will become very important. And definitely guys, in the matters of your financial inflow, I'm actually looking forward to some very good lucrative returns for a lot many Capricorn Lagna people. And definitely whatsoever you have done, whatsoever reputation you command in your business, in your industry, you will also get benefited because of the support of other people as well, which will keep on pouring you in order to meet your financial goals next year. Now guys, looking at the matters of your third house. So definitely guys, as you can see, that third house which tells about your communication, your efforts. So in your case, Jupiter is going to be transiting in your third house till April 21st. After that, Jupiter will move to your fourth house. Now guys, the beauty next year is that in the matters of your third house and fourth house, there is a strong influence of Rahu which is going to be influencing Jupiter as well, because initially your third house lord is going to be, once Jupiter will transit to your fourth house, it is going to come in the influence of Rahu, and after October, Rahu by it itself is going to come to your third house. So that in itself tells about that definitely I'm looking forward to lot many Capricorn Lagna people being very driven, being very motivated next year for sure. And the beauty is that whatsoever efforts you will put forth, you will always be very much consciously aware towards bringing that stability in your life. Like definitely your next year's theme has got a lot to do with exploration, trying new markets or venturing out in some new business. But over and above that, whatsoever you will do, there is definitely going to be a groundedness which will surround all of your actions. And definitely guys, because the way planetary vibration is going to be influencing you, because whenever we talk about anything to do with the support of the family, we generally see that either from the second house or from the fourth house. So both of these two houses are in the influence of the planet Saturn and Jupiter. So I can assure you that in all of your actions, there is definitely going to be people who will be supporting you, and there will be some good amount of well-wishers who will be around you all the time. And definitely guys, even when we talk about the matters of the third house, whether it's about initiatives, drive, motivation, or whether we talk about your friends, your siblings, your neighborhood connections, all of that will prove to be a lot in your favor next year for sure. Now guys, when we look at the matters of your fourth house, so now the beauty over here is that not only Rahu and Jupiter are going to be influencing the matters of your fourth house, but also Saturn is also going to be giving its third aspect to your fourth house. So that in itself tells about that your fourth house is actually receiving the influence from a lot many planets, which can be seen as a very good sign. Now let's say for example, if your life aspirations hovers around the matters of the fourth house, like when we talk about buying your home, buying a new vehicle, or any renovation at home, all of that can be anticipated next year. And guys, like generally I have seen lot many people with the blessing of Jupiter in the fourth house, that they are in some very happy, loving, joint families. People are very generous with their heart, with their love and affection towards the near and dear people. So that is how, friends, we can see this combined influence of Rahu and Jupiter taking place in your fourth house. Definitely guys, whenever we talk about Rahu's influence, so Rahu many times can create those degree and sense of lack of conviction within the family members at certain times, like when we talk about before taking any final call in any of the domestic matters. It might create that last moment misunderstanding, last moment confusion. But again, just because Saturn is also going to be giving its third aspect to your fourth house, so a lot many things are going to be well grounded, well protected for sure. So what I can say with confidence is that next year is actually proving out to be very favorable for people with political aspirations, people who want to buy their own home, or anything to do with the organizing some big events or family gatherings at your home. So regarding that front, next year is creating very positive energy for a lot many Capricorn Lagna people.
Anywhere you say, anywhere you say, anywhere.
Now guys, when we talk about the matters of your fifth house, so definitely guys, in your case, Venus becomes your Yokaraka planet. So its transit, its dignity, its placement becomes very important for you. So now guys, if you will see, Venus is going to be starting the year on a very good note. Like in the month of January, Venus is going to be transiting your first house, and then it is going to be getting conjunct with your ascendant lord in your second house. Then it is going to be getting exalted. So I would say that specifically in the matters of your fifth house, the initial 3-4 months will start with a bang for a lot many Capricorn Lagna people. So the point which I'm trying to say over here is that whether you are a student or whether you are straight away connected with the fields of art, entertainment, media, you're a content creator, you are an actor, or anything to do with the people who are heavily invested in stock market trading, so all those people can get benefited. Like guys, in the matters of your fifth house, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable. Just the like when we talk about the month of like the month of April, when Venus is going to be transiting from your like fourth house, being in the influence of Rahu. So that is going to be a time when you have to remain a little bit careful in your investments. And also in the month of August and September, when Venus is going to be retrograde and going back and forth in your 7th house and 8th house axis. So that is going to be a time when you have to remain very careful in the matters of your loving relationship and anything to do with the investments. But apart from that, majorly next year is creating a very positive energy. And like the way guys, I have got strong conviction in my tarot reading. So the mere appearance of this card in itself tells about that you will venture out in new territories. So exploration, luck supporting you, and you taking the chance, that is how the energy will favor you or benefit a lot many Capricorn Lagna people next year. Now guys, when we talk about the matters of your sixth house, so guys, try to understand this thing, that in your case, the Eartha triangle, like which constitutes of the second house, sixth house and 10th house. So apart from the sixth house, in other two Eartha houses of yours, two karmic planets are going to be transiting over there. So Saturn is going to be transiting in your second house, Ketu is going to be transiting in your 10th house. That in itself tells about that your actions, your hardship is going to be very much karmically controlled. So you cannot deceive your planets, your stars, by trying to evade the hard work or trying to take the shortcut in any of the given responsibility. So I would say guys, you have to work very hard with strong conviction next year, and accordingly you will reap the reward for sure. Second thing is that guys, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable in any way pertaining to the matters of enemies or competition trying to trouble you, trying to outshine you. So I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable in any front. It's just like the 2 months, like I would say that the month of January, when your sixth house lord is going to be retrograde in your 12th house, and then the month of May, when your sixth house lord is going to be transiting in the enemy sign, in the Aries, being in the influence of Rahu, it is going to be retrograde as well. So January and May are the 2 months when you have to remain very careful pertaining to the matters of your dealings with your juniors, with your subordinates, with your team members. But apart from that, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable. But yes, I have already explained this thing. Your efforts will be directly proportionate to your rewards. So just try not to take the shortcut, work hard, and you will equally get rewarded for sure. Now guys, when we talk about the matters of your 7th house, so guys, try to understand this thing. Like, see, Cancer is a very impressionable, it's a very volatile, it's a very sensitive energy. And from the past 2.5 years, when Saturn was transiting in your 1st house, it was actually giving a straight aspect to your 7th house. So I do not know how much pressure did you feel in the matters of your 7th house, like answerability to your partner or within your business, or if you are in any sort of public profile, so how much people have expected out of you. So I would say all of that is going to be a matter of the past. And definitely guys, the way I'm looking at your overall the karma houses, like air houses, 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house, so I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable in any way. It's just like that the shift of the Saturn from your 1st house is going to be a relief in the matters of your 7th house as well. And guys, like the way we say this thing, that the transit of Jupiter in the 4th house, see, from the 4th house, although Jupiter is not aspecting your 7th house, but just because 4th house also has to do with our domestic life as well. So I have seen this thing that a lot many people also get married whenever Jupiter is also transiting from the 4th house as well. So I would say that for pertaining to the matters of the enhancement of the reputation or people getting married, next year is creating a very positive energy. And the good part is that, saving grace is that, all the pressure which you have been facing in the matters of your 7th house from the past 2.5 years, that is going to come to a standstill. Now guys, coming to the matters of your 8th house. So now guys, you have to know this very basic principle of the transit, that whenever these two slow moving planets, Saturn and Jupiter, aspect one specific house or sign, you can actually have some great accomplishment in the matters of that house, in the matters of that sign. So next year, as you can see, that both the planet Jupiter is going to be aspecting the Leo sign and is going to be granting its good luck, its fortune, and Saturn is going to be bestowing its additional responsibilities in the form of giving you and empowering you with some authority, with some power as well in the matters of your 8th house, in the matters of the Leo energy. So I would say guys, that definitely some sort of great accomplishment in the matters of the 8th house can be attained next year for sure. Now definitely, if you're working in the fields of insurance, revenue, psychology, you can get benefited. Also, all those people who are like expecting any paternal property, any of the inheritance or wills, so they can also get benefited. Say that guys, like specifically, like even if you are an actor, no matter in which field you are engaged in, the more researchful and the more kind of insightful you will make your work ethics, the better you will perform next year for sure, because 8th house is going to be supporting you next year for sure. So definitely guys, like even if you're an actor, like, so I would say that rather than working on some entertainment or some entertaining projects, better you work on some mystery or something with a spiritual bent to it, or some sort of a mystery attached to it. So the planetary vibration next year is definitely going to support you better. This is how the energy are going to be supporting or influencing the matters of your 8th house for sure. And also guys, whenever we have to look at the yearly transit, we generally give attention towards that whether we are getting prone and vulnerable towards the 8th house connected unpleasing events or scandalous or controversial energies bothering us. So I'm not seeing any of the 8th house connected affliction troubling you in any way. Rather, I would say that the benefic side of the 8th house in the form of some sudden unexpected gains, opportunities of financial reward will be waiting for the Capricorn Lagna next year for sure. Now guys, when we talk about the matters of your ninth house, so definitely guys, in your case, Mercury becomes your very important auspicious planet, and Mercury is going to be transiting in some very good houses apart from the 2 months which I have already mentioned, the month of January and the month of May, when you have to remain very cautious and careful, that because your ninth house lord is going to be retrograde first in the 12th house in the month of January, and it is going to be retrograde being in the enemy sign in the month of May in your 4th house. So these are the 2 months when if you have to undertake any travel, you have to be very cautious. If you have to initiate any of the process of immigration, so I would say just try to be cautious, be careful. But apart from that, ninth house energy in a way which tells about your luck will definitely be supporting you. So I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable in the matters of the ninth house. The more you will be rooted in your faith, in your religious austerities, the better next year is going to be helping you. Because guys, as you know that the combined energy, like if you will make a sum total of 2023, it will give you the number 7, which is a number ruled by the Ketu. So definitely the underlying vibe or theme of next year has got lot of spiritual energy attached to it. So like let's say for example, if you are already working in the fields of spirituality, of teaching, of lecturing, so all those people can also get benefited, and overall luck is definitely going to be supporting you in all areas of your life for sure. Now guys, looking at the matters of your professional endeavors, so definitely guys, the combined energy of the next year of 2023 is of the number 7 of Ketu, and Ketu is going to be transiting in your 10th house. And even if I will blend it with the kind of energy which I receive from my cards as well, so that in itself tells about that next year you will be heading towards some very positive transformative changes at your work front. You have to work with this mindset that you have to be very much welcoming and receptive towards venturing out into something new, experimenting with something new, and have that degree and sense of faith in the higher powers, like practicing law of attraction, law of manifestation. Next year will become very important for all the Capricorn Lagna people, and there couldn't be anything better that if in any way next year in your dasha cycle, if your 3rd house or your 5th house is going to be active, so I can assure you any of the initiatives or steps taken by you next year will prove to be very transformative, will prove to be very profitable. So guys, the only 2 months when you have to remain cautious is first when your 10th house lord is going to be transiting and being in the influence of Rahu in the month of April, so you have to be very cautious. And also in the month of August and September, when your 10th house lord is going to be in a retrograde mode in your 7th house, going back and forth in the 8th house. So these are the couple of months, the month of April and August and September, you have to remain very cautious. But apart from that, I would say next year do not work with this mindset of conservation. Work with this mindset of expansiveness and bringing that healthy transformation at your professional endeavors. And guys, as you know that Ketu is going to be receiving straight aspect from the planet Jupiter as well, and Ketu only pay heed to the planet Jupiter, and Ketu in itself is the significator of flag. So a lot many people who are awaiting any promotion or any raise, so or people with political aspiration can also succeed next year in all of their wishes. Now guys, looking at the matters of your 11th house. So definitely guys, as you know that your 11th house lord is the planet Mars, and now Mars will be starting the year transiting from your 5th house, where it is going to be spending a lot of time in the Taurus sign, and it will end the year coming back to your 11th house in itself in the Scorpio sign. So guys, the another benefic side is that your Scorpio sign, your 11th house is going to be receiving the straight 10th aspect of the planet Saturn as well. So that in itself tells about that the matters of your income, your matters of any of the supplementary income is going to be completely controlled or completely getting influenced by the planet Saturn. So that in itself tells about that if your actions, your deeds are done in a very strategic, in a right direction, so some heavy windfall gain can also be anticipated. So definitely guys, a lot will be dependent on your dashas as well, but I would say that for all those people in whose line of work some sort of favors from the people connected with the government or people who are very high placed, so any of the favors from the important people, prominent people, any of the contracts or tenders, if you have been awaiting for that, or like I would say that if you're already working in the fields of NGOs or anything to do with the labor union or anything to do with the journalism or anything which brings revolution in the society, in the community, so if you are actually working with that mindset of crusader, so I would say that next year can actually give you some very good opportunity, recognition or award for all of the hard work which you have been putting in. So that is what guys I can say. Definitely this 10th judgment giving aspect of the planet Saturn and Mars making some transit from some very auspicious houses, so next year is creating very positive energy pertaining to the matters of your 11th house. Initially the flow of income could be very slow, or like even while asking for any favors you might have to make a lot of attempts, but ultimately eventually you will succeed with the persistent efforts. That is something which I can say pertaining to the matters of your 11th house. And in a lot many cases, all those people who are trying for getting some very big tenders and contracts or big pile of investments, they can also prove to be lucky in the matters of their 11th house next year for sure. Now guys, if you will notice the matters of your 12th house, so Jupiter has got the rulership of your 12th house. Jupiter on April is going to be transiting in your 4th house, so which can be seen as a very good sign. All those people who are, because of their college, because of their job, they are living far away from their family, from their native place, I would say next year will give a lot many opportunities for people to reunite with their family members for sure. Also guys, for anything to do with the you are in that multinational import export line of work, nature of work, all those people can also get benefited. And guys, as you know that 12th house which also tells about some high level spiritual austerities, and 4th house which tells about our deep rooted emotions. So I would say that if you are actively engaged in religious and spiritual austerities, like you are very much actively involved in the sadhana or in meditation or yoga, whether as a part of your profession or whether as a part of your own spiritual growth, I would say next year is creating a very positive energy in all the matters of your 12th house for all the Capricorn Lagna people. So this is something guys which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs as your yearly theme for the year of 2023. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.